Hi again folks, thanks for tuning in. So in this video I'm going to give you an update on the living wall you can see here. So I did mention this a bit in the pond video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, covered a few things, but I've had quite a few comments and questions particularly about the wall, so I thought I'd do a slightly sort of more focused video on that. And it was sort of overdue anyway, an update on it. The first update I did was about 3 months ago now, I think, so that was kind of taken in winter, very early spring, so yeah, I thought it was about time to do sort of a early summer update, because as you can see it's grown quite a bit. So I'll flip you around and we'll just talk through it for a few minutes. Great, so if you've not watched part one just yet, suggest that you give that a quick view. I mentioned how I built the wall in that piece, how it's constructed, attached to the fence, the irrigation system, all that sort of thing. So rather than go over it again, I really wanted to just focus on the sort of growth of the plants and planting, those kinds of aspects in this video. So I'm going to take you around the back of the pond because that's how I access the wall, and we'll get up a bit closer and take a look. So one of the things I wanted to just talk about was the general aspect of this wall, and it is approximately sort of east facing, so the sun rises pretty much opposite the wall in early summer, and then gradually it's exposed to more light, obviously, as the summer progresses and the sun goes higher overhead. You can see up here I've got some quite big leylandi shadowing the garden on the south side. So earlier in the year it doesn't quite get as much sun because obviously the sun's taking a shallower arc across the sky there, and because of the fence here, comes to about sort of noon, early afternoon, and then this whole thing starts falling into shade. So so it's kind of a tough choice really as to what kind of plants to get for it, because in the summer in the morning it does get quite a lot of direct sunlight really, although having said that, it's obviously is covered as well by this polycarbonate roof over the pond, so I think that affords it some UV protection. But generally I've tried to plant the sort of more light tolerant plants like these darker heucheras down this end of the wall, because this is the end that gets the sun for the longest by season as well, that is. So so yeah, obviously I've got these dark heucheras here. Not sure on the exact type of some of these, as when I got them in the mail and they didn't have labels on them, which wasn't very useful. This one here is a berry smoothie. Got this in the reduced section at a garden centre for a couple of quid. Doing really well. I'm pleased about that one. This is Lysimachia, Goldilocks, Creeping Jenny, I think it is. This is a yellow archangel. Just nabbed a little cutting of this from a footpath near where I live, and it seems to be doing okay. I think it likes quite sort of boggy ground, has yellow flowers. And that is a little rasp fern, again, that I rescued. We've got a trailing petunia here. That's not been in the wall that long, but it's grown a lot. This is another Creeping Jenny, but a slightly different cultivar. I've got a few of these big ferns here. I think they're called pig ferns, and these actually are small plants that grew from a couple of larger ones I had in the garden at my old house, and that are just hitched along in pots. So I dug those up, and they were kind of like the tester plants for the wall really, so they're growing really nicely, getting a decent size as well, for the wall anyway, that is. Another one down there, there's got a couple down that end as well. What else have we got while we're here? It's moving down slightly. Now this isn't doing too well. This is a campanula bellflower. Campanula portenschlagiana, I think is the scientific name. God knows if I pronounced that right. With any of these names, if you know I'm not saying them right, feel free to correct me in the comments. So yeah, I got that from B&Q, and it was quite big, so I divided it into 2 clumps so I could fit it in the pockets, and it had lovely purple flowers on it at the time, but I'm not sure if that's possibly done it in. All the flowers have gone. I mean, it's still looking reasonably healthy, the leaves, so I'm not sure about that one. If anyone's got any experience with campanula, then I'd be interested to hear any tips on it. Got some coleus here. These seem to be doing okay. I did take a few little cuttings of this to try and spread it out. What else have we got? Most recent addition are these tiny little ferns. I've got 4 of these, and they're supposed to be 2 Ethereum nipponicum pewter lace and 2 burgundy lace, but I'm not really sure that they are, because they don't look like they've got any colour to me. And from what I read, they start off with colour even when they're small, so I'm feeling a bit like fleeced with those. Got them through the mail. And I also got this Tiarella Mystic Mist at the same time. Doesn't look a lot like the image of it, but it's still pretty nice. We'll see how it develops. Obviously some more heucheras here, also known as coral bells, and they're growing flower spikes as well, all of them. And as I say, these darker leaved varieties, I tried to put down this end, although this one I sort of messed up a little bit and put this in the sun, but it seems to be doing alright. Not growing very fast though. Let's move down this end a bit. That is another creeping jenny. I think that's an Outback Sunset, that one's known as. And these ones here, these are, let's try and get a close-up of these flowers here. Beautiful false forget-me-nots. Brunnera macrophylla Jack Frost. Absolutely stunning leaves on them. Also known as Siberian bugloss, I believe. So it took me a while to find these in the garden centre, but I did eventually. And again, this was a single plant that was just way too big, so I actually split it with a knife, because I believe these are rhizomaceous, is that how you say it? They grow from a rhizome, and I was kind of worried that I'd killed it, but it seems to be doing okay. I need to remove that flower spike there, because I think they seed otherwise, so I'll be trimming that one off soon. Thinking about possibly getting a couple more varieties of that actually. This one here is another heuchera. I think this is called a lime spice, and I bought that as quite a large plant, that one, but it is growing nicely. In fact, it's sending up that really tall runner there. Not sure what to do with that. Let's move down a bit. We've got another coleus in here and another one there. Seem to be doing okay. And more of the sort of peach coloured heucheras here. I tried to sort of group them together a bit. That's one thing actually, the sort of composition of the planting on this wall is, I know, is possibly a bit of a jumble really, and I kind of did want to go for, you know, a sort of tropical, almost chaotic, just lush appearance, but certainly, you know, it's something that I'm learning as well, so in the future this might be something that I'll look at rearranging it slightly and maybe sort of getting patterns and groupings of plants. So some more yellow archangel and rasp ferns, more of the same. Got a few heart's tongue ferns down this end. I have moved a few things out of that end because this massive Japanese Aurelia here, I've had this for about 15 years. It's really spreading out, but I absolutely love it. It's so exotic looking, and that's hiding the filter bunker from a pond. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything seems to be doing well, not everything, but most things seem to be doing really well. I actually even put an orchid up there that was not doing so well in the house, see if it would recover. It's not looking too bad actually, better than it did anyway, so we'll see how that does. Just on that subject, I believe that I'm living zone 9 here in the northwest UK, quite near the city of Chester, so some of this stuff is going to die back a little bit I think over winter, although it is quite sheltered in this garden and sheltered under this pergola as well, so we'll see. Last few winters we've had here have been pretty mild really, so again it's the first year for this wall and a bit of an experiment, seeing what happens with it. The irrigation system, let's have a little look at that down here. If you're coming here from part 1, let's move back a little bit. In part 1 this was just a bucket and I had a aquarium systems new jet 3500 pump in there. Still got that, but obviously I've upgraded to a larger tub. I think it's about 80 litres, connected to my pond overflow there, and a water butt as well, and that red pipe is the overflow. I need to connect that to this pipe here that goes to the drain. Just need to find a bit of pipe for that. But 45 seconds in the morning, 45 seconds in the evening, it shoots water up out through each of the arms. One there, and there's a hole above every column of pockets, so drenches the wall. And I tend to find that water seems to like gather in this lower row of pockets. You can see that it's a little bit green along there with algae, so what I'm actually planning to do before the next update is put a piece of guttering along the bottom of here to collect the water that drains through and take it back into the reservoir, so that's something I need to do. But yeah, it seems to work well. I do spray it down occasionally as well, every few days, particularly if it's really hot weather, with the hose pipe, just in case. Oh, pigeon just tried to land on me. So yeah, just walk back round and we'll take another fast little wider view of it. See the pond there. Okay, so that's it for this update. I aim to do another one sort of maybe later in the summer, see how it develops. As like I say, I am planning to fill in a few of the gaps when I find particular plants that I want. I'd really like some sort of larger size Ethereums, Japanese painted ferns, but not finding it easy to get hold of those. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of updates. I am working on another pond one at the moment, so I had a really good response to that on the channel, so keep your eyes open for that one if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I'll see you next time. Take care, folks.